Hello, divine souls. Djemilah Birnie here with Becoming the Big Me. I'm so excited for this special segment of the Becoming the Big Me podcast. This section of the podcast is dedicated towards sharing the stories of conquest for some incredible individuals. They are also featured in my latest book, Becoming the Big Me, the Great Conquest. In this section of the podcast, we will dive deep into each of their stories and their journeys and their hardships, from addiction, PTSD, loss of loved ones and children. This segment of the podcast is dedicated towards sharing their stories and sharing their journeys, not only of the hardships, but sharing how they overcame. To learn more about the authors behind the stories that you are going to hear, go to thegreatconquest.com. And if you would like to purchase a copy of The Great Conquest book, you can go to bit.ly/Great Conquest. And without further ado, let's dive into the amazing journeys. I interrupt your regularly scheduled programming to give you a book launch update. You guys, it is the day that the book was technically supposed to launch. Now it is Sunday, October 17th. We had some crazy things happen. So, okay, before I dive into this, hi, you guys. I'm back. It's Djemilah. Welcome back to this segment of the podcast. I am so excited to share with you. This episode is I just want to share with you how this launch has gone for this book, because it's been pretty great. It's been pretty exciting, but it's also been a complete mess. But it's so funny because every single part of this book, every single piece of this process has been such an example of the lessons in this book, like every single step of the way. And the launch was the same. We were supposed to launch today. We had issues on the back end and whatever. It ended up being published on Friday in the middle of the day, and none of us had planned for it to launch in the middle of the day on Friday. We had all of our kind of like launch activity stuff scheduled for Sunday, right? And when you are publishing on Amazon, one thing that can really help you get more momentum is those initial sales in the first 48 hours. So we had like a whole thing planned for Sunday and Monday to really push sales. Well, that didn't happen. I was out working, all dirty, and I get the email and I'm like, oh my goodness, I have to jump into action. So I ran inside, like literally still covered in dirt, ran the whole book launch. Oh my gosh. And just started pushing it. Organically and guerrilla marketing tactics. You guys know I'm all about the guerrilla marketing tactics. I like boots on the ground. I like doing that kind of stuff. And that's really how I approached the launch of the podcast, which this podcast itself was totally boots on the ground type of situation. There was no paid advertising or anything like that went into the launch of the podcast, and we were able to do really well. And same with this book. Although I will be investing in some things down the road with the book just to continue the momentum for it, but as far as the launch, this was a guerrilla marketing push, and we did it. We hit our goal, which my goal is I wanted to hit in the top 5,000 of the Kindle store as a whole.
And I wanted to do that. And we did. We hit like 4,500 in the Kindle store as a whole. And then we also took 3 bestseller categories in 3 bestseller like titles in 3 of the subcategories of the book. Which is really cool and exciting. I'm super excited about that. But what I'm really, really even more excited about is our competing numbers in some of the larger categories like self-help and philosophy. We were able to get into the top 10 for the hot new releases in both the self-help and the philosophy and the business life category. And that is really cool, in my opinion, because I mean, the bestseller status is like super cool regardless, but I also understand that, you know, it's easier to get the bestseller status in the subcategories. I understand that. So for me, looking at those larger numbers, looking at those bigger numbers, seeing where we are in the entire Kindle store and seeing where we are in, you know, entire big categories that have like tons of subcategories under them, and seeing how we're doing in those larger aspects really helped me put it into this perspective as to how good of, like, how awesome this was. And you guys, it's because of you guys. It's because you guys went out there and you guys have been buying the book on Amazon for 99 cents. So I really, really do appreciate you for doing that. Thank you so much for the support. And yeah, I just wanted to I just want to document this. I want to document this journey. I want to take you along with this journey. And it's been a wild past 2 days, but we hit the goal. Like we did it. And I could not be more proud. So thank you and yay. And I want you to, like, I really want to know your opinion of this book after, like, you have time, you know, after you have time to dive into it, after you have time to start reading it. I really want to know what you think and how it resonates with you, because, you know, it really poured a lot of heart and soul into this, and I feel like it will impact and help a lot of people. So I hope that it helps you too, and I would love to hear about it once you actually read it, once you dive into it, once you have a chance to dive into it. Thank you so much for tuning into today's episode of the Becoming the Big Me podcast. I know that you found value in hearing this story today, and I would love if you could show your support by going and grabbing a copy of our book. And you can do so by going to bit.ly/Great Conquest. You can also go to www.thegreatconquest.com for more information about each of the individuals involved in this process. Thanks again for tuning in.